to you by Nissan, the official partner of March Madness. And what a ride for Scott Drew. So happy for him. He resurrected that program, which really was on the brink of being defunct based upon the murder, based upon the payments, based upon Dave Bliss and what transpired. And I love CBS bringing back that introductory press conference where Scott Drew said, we're going to win a championship. And, you know, he's got that amazing enthusiasm. My friend Malcolm, who produces our television show, Time to Shine, compared him to Ted Lasso. You know, I was obsessed with Ted Lasso. I love that. And he's a great coach, and I'm happy for him. Look, I was dead wrong on the game last night. I was stunned beyond disbelief that Gonzaga didn't post, but I am so happy for Scott Drew. This was earned. They knocked the stuffing out of Gonzaga last night. And I can't wait to see how you guys respond in the Scheinbox question. Gonzaga's 2020-2021 season was. Have some fun filling in the blank on that one. Make sure you tweet us at Adam Schein, at Mad Dog Radio. And the great Bob Stew is going to read the results of the Scheinbox question coming up in the final hour of the show. Stu in New York, our good friends. Next on Sports.
Adam, how are you?
What's cooking, Stu?
I'm doing all right, man. How's my number one TV producer, Mr. Finger? How's he doing?
Oh, actually, that's right. This is my guy, Stu. I met you at CBS, I guess, 2 years ago. I actually talked to Finger last week. He's doing great.
Very good. So I want to talk about the Jets here. I was going to talk about the failings of the Jets, but Vince covered that pretty nicely. You know, we could talk about how they surrounded him with the worst offensive line in football. We could talk about how his first offensive coordinator spent the year before coaching Sam Darnold hiking the Appalachian Trail.
Literally, he was hiking a trail, and then he was coaching Sam Darnold. That's how you ruin the third overall pick in the draft. That's not even a joke. That's what Bates was doing the year before the Jets brought him in. That's 100% accurate.
Then you could talk about how they surrounded him with Adam Gase, the real guru. I mean, that guy's a genius. So let's talk about what the Jets could have done. Well, the Jets could have gotten the deal that the Dolphins got, okay? Right? And they would have had 3 first-round picks.
I mean, truth be told, they could have gotten more.
And they could have done better.
Keep going.
They could have gotten more. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you could have done is you could have drafted 2 offensive linemen this year, a running back or a wide receiver, actually help this kid who handled himself with dignity and respect. He is a nice young man. He really, really is. What you could have done is helped him.
Yep.
And if he didn't work out this year, guess what? You would have had, between the Jamal Adams trade and trading the first-round pick this year, you would have had 5 picks, first-round picks, in 2022, 2023, and actually 7 if you go all the way out to 2024. And you could have traded those picks for a quarterback next year. What you would have been able to see if Sam Darnold could have cut it with some talent around him. Now, here's what I do know. Zach Wilson is 6'2". I think he's 214 pounds. Massively undersized. What is the worst thing you could do for an undersized quarterback in the NFL? You could have a weak interior line. That's why when the Saints picked up Drew Brees, they made the interior line a priority for them, because the worst thing you can do for a smaller quarterback is have pressure in his face. Well, I got news for you. The Jets have the worst, if not one of the worst, interior lines in all of professional football. We are not set up for this young man to be successful. He will literally fall flat on his face. I can promise you that.
Stu, there's still a lot of work to be done. You're 100% right. And, you know, this is going to be grossly unfair. But if Zach Wilson comes in as a rookie, and you know my take, you know, you don't want to – look, I'm defending Tua, and I would have picked Herbert over Tua. I was outspoken on that. You know, I thought, you know, rookies oftentimes have uneven first seasons. Because of everything you just eloquently framed and said about Darnold's and about what they could have done, the fans of the Jets are not going to be patient here with Zach Wilson. And I can't say I blame them. I get it, because there were so many other options, things we've talked about. Now, you know, Joe Douglas didn't draft Sam Darnold. And Joe Douglas now has the coach he hired, And he now remember, he didn't hire Adam Gase. He now has the coach he hired and his hand-picked quarterback. So I'm going to give Joe Douglas some wiggle room I'm going to give him some wiggle room to see how his coach, his quarterback are able to execute. I'm going to give him some wiggle room.
Point.
But
to
your point, the what could have been is going to loom very large if you're a Jets fan.
I think this trade had so little to do about football and so much about making sure that Douglas and Saleh get a little bit more leniency, because there is nothing that gives an ownership more leniency with a coach and a GM than a young quarterback. Okay? They want to make sure that they see the back end of their deals and maybe can eke out an extension.
Stu, I'm going to disagree with you on that completely. I'm going to disagree with you on that. Beyond. I don't think. No. Understand. They're doing this because they think Zach Wilson's going to be a star. That's it.
He could be, maybe. He might.
No. But just so we're clear, there's no hidden ulterior motive. They're doing this because they think Zach Wilson is going to be a star. They didn't keep Darnold. They didn't put a for sale sign on the pick. They could have gotten 3-4 first-round picks for that number 2 pick. I mean, San Francisco would have given heaven and earth. They could have gotten an established player. And by the way, no one knows that San Francisco roster better than Robert Saleh. They said no. Trust me, they could have the guy Kyle Shanahan wanted first and foremost was Zach Wilson. Can't get up to 2. Let me get up to 3 so I can get my guy. So that's why there's going to be immense pressure on Joe Douglas. He got his guy. The reason they do this in New York is they think Zach Wilson's going to be a megastar. Might be. Better be right. Ryan at Green Bay, our good friend. Next on Sports.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Ryan?
Well, you couldn't. Tons of stuff, man. You couldn't have set up my call any better with that. He pretty much ditto everything the Stu just said about Sam Darnold having 100% zero chance to do anything in New York. And I'm going to say the biggest loser in this whole trade is, once again, our Chicago Bears, my Ryan Pace.
Because you would have rather had Sam Darnold, of course.
You mean to tell me, Adam, that we could have given up, and he's fighting for his job, so let's not talk about the 2nd and 4th pick next year, because that doesn't affect Ryan Pace, because he might be gone next year. He could have given up a 6th-round pick and kept Kyle Fuller and brought in Sam Darnold. Instead, he chose to basically trade Kyle Fuller for Andy Dalton. We could have a 24-year-old quarterback who does have upside. How am I sitting here barely watching football a better GM than Ryan Pace? This is so frustrating to me.
Ryan, there was also that original report way back when, and by way back when, I mean a few weeks ago, that John Schneider and Pete Carroll had interest in Sam Darnold if they traded Russell Wilson. So just throwing that out. I don't mean to hit you over the head too early on a random Tuesday, but yeah, that's part of the woe is me Bears equation. Absolutely.
I'm just speechless. I made my first and probably only trip this year to Wrigley last night, so I'm a little tired because I drove back from Chicago last night. I'm going to focus on the fact that I got to go to Wrigley and watch my Cubs win last night, because if I think about the Sam Darnold and the Bears, once again, this is why I'm on the Bills bandwagon. I already even got my Bills hat for next year. We might be jumping through tables next year, Adam. So you have a great rest of your day. And Ryan Pace, I cannot wait to watch you get fired, and I hope Ted Phillips goes with you. Have a good one, bud.
How's that? It's just, he didn't even change the inflection of his voice. I love the way Ryan delivered that. I hope Ryan Pace gets fired and Ted Phillips goes with him. You poor people of Chicago. I'll take which general manager is on the hot seat for this upcoming year for inexplicably trading up for a project quarterback in the 2020 NFL Draft for 1,000, Aaron. We'll get into Rodgers as the Jeopardy host and what it means for the future of Aaron Rodgers and Brian Gutekunst right after our good friend Mr. Hurricane on the Mad Dog Sports Radio Sports Fight.